You want love, real love, the kind that doesn't leave you staring at the ceiling at 3 in the morning or scrolling through texts that went cold overnight. The problem is that you keep choosing the wrong people and then convincing yourself to stay. Psychotherapist Jillian Turecki has spent years studying why this happens, and she's clear. Love isn't about luck, it's about your filter. Choose poorly, and you get the same outcome every time. Pain, confusion, wasted years. In this video, we're breaking down the blocks that keep pulling you toward partners who can't love you well, and the shifts that help you finally recognize the ones who can. By the end, you'll see exactly where your love life keeps derailing and how to put it back on track. Let's start with the first block. It's one you may never say out loud, but it shows up on every date. Here's the paradox Jillian points out. You may deeply desire men or women or both, but part of you also resents them. Maybe you tell yourself, all men cheat, or all women play games. You want connection, but you brace for disappointment before the date even begins. And here's where it gets tricky. Even if you don't voice these beliefs, your body carries them. Jillian shares a story of sitting in a cafe after her marriage ended. She looked around at the men in the room and, for the first time in her life, felt afraid. Not because of anything they did, but because betrayal had rewired her nervous system to see threat everywhere. That subtle shift is what so many daters are living with right now. Distrust disguised as caution. The problem, people can feel it. We're wired to pick up on micro signals of resentment, fear, and hostility. So while you're trying to smile through a conversation, the other person is registering unease. That sense that they're already judged, already distrusted, already the enemy. And in a dating world already full of nerves, that unease can quietly destroy the possibility of safety. Filtering the wrong ones, then, starts with filtering your own lens. If every man looks like a potential liar or every woman feels like a threat, you're not filtering partners. You're replaying your pain. Jillian's advice is blunt but freeing. Notice who you resent. Track where that comes from. Your past, your parents, the horror stories your friends tell, and then challenge whether it's actually true. Because if you don't, every date becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. When you stop projecting fear onto everyone you meet, you'll discover something remarkable. You'll actually start noticing the people who make you feel safe. And that, according to Jillian, is the first real filter for love. Sometimes the wrong ones slip through, not because you can't spot them, but because deep down you don't believe you could hold on to the right one even if they showed up. Jillian Turecki calls this one of the most invisible blocks to love. On the surface, you might look like a confident dater. You might get plenty of attention, plenty of matches, even a few promising starts, but under the surface, there's a quiet belief. I can't make a relationship work. Think about how powerful that is. If you've convinced yourself that every relationship will eventually collapse, then love doesn't feel like safety. It feels like risk. Your brain begins to pair closeness with pain, commitment with loss. And so you do what seems logical. You keep picking unavailable partners, or you sabotage good ones before they get too close. Jillian explains that this belief usually comes from two places. One is history. Maybe every serious relationship you've had has ended in betrayal, distance, or dysfunction. The other is self-doubt, this creeping fear that you're too difficult, too needy, too something to actually sustain a healthy bond. And when those fears sit in your unconscious, they run the show without you realizing it. The filter here is not about your date, it's about your faith in yourself. If you don't believe you can handle the give and take of intimacy, then even the best partner will feel threatening. You'll read compromise as control. You'll hear feedback as rejection. You'll confuse vulnerability with weakness. And the relationship will collapse. Not because it was doomed, but because you never believed you could sustain it in the first place. Here's the shift Jillian urges. You don't need to be fully healed to be loved. Nobody is. What matters is whether you're willing to stay awake inside a relationship, honest about your needs, transparent about your struggles, open to feedback, and committed to growth. That willingness is the real predictor of sustainability. Once you start trusting your own ability to show up, not perfectly, but consistently, you'll notice something change. You'll stop clinging to partners who drain you. You'll stop tolerating ones who belittle you, because when you believe you can hold love, you no longer settle for the people who can't. This might be the hardest filter of all because it forces you to admit something no one wants to say out loud. You've been giving your best years, your best energy to people who were never right for you. Jillian Turecki puts it plainly, every month you spend in the wrong relationship is a month you delay the right one. Think about it. When you stay with someone who constantly triggers your anxiety, who withholds affection, who doesn't want what you want, you're not just stuck, you're actively blocking love. Your nervous system adapts to chaos. Your bar for happiness sinks lower and lower, and by the time you leave, you've trained yourself to see dysfunction as normal. Why do we do it? Sometimes it's empathy twisted against us. We feel bad leaving someone who needs us. Sometimes it's fear. We'd rather tolerate misery than face loneliness. And sometimes it's hope. The fantasy that if we just love harder, they'll finally turn into the partner we imagined on day one. But Jillian is crystal clear. Healthy adult love is not supposed to feel like a chronic battle. Every relationship has rough patches, yes, but if the dominant emotion is sadness, distrust, or fear, you're not building intimacy. You're only surviving it. One woman wrote to Jillian about a partner who literally kicked her out of bed during an argument, and she still wondered if she should forgive him. Another described a man who openly admitted he was still sleeping with his ex, and she kept rationalizing why she should stay. These aren't edge cases. They're what happens when you forget the most important filter. Love is supposed to add to your well-being, not destroy it. And when we talk about filtering out the wrong one, it's not just about spotting red flags. It's about catching yourself when compassion turns into self-betrayal. Yes, you can care about someone. Yes, you can wish them healing. But that doesn't mean they get to keep access to you. That's the line Jillian asks you to draw. Once you learn to walk away, without second-guessing, without endless justification, you'll discover something shocking. The right people don't require all that effort. They make you feel lighter, safer, calmer simply by showing up as they are. And that's when filtering stops being painful and starts being freeing. One of the sneakiest traps in dating is mistaking intensity for love. The flood of texts, the whirlwind plans, the declarations that arrive too early, your brain interprets all that as passion. But what Jillian and countless psychologists point out is that this high is often just nervous system chaos. It feels exciting, but it's not sustainable. Think about the difference between a candle and a bonfire. A bonfire looks impressive at first, roaring unstoppable, but it burns out fast. A candle flame, steady and quiet, lasts through the night. Relationships are built on candlelight, not bonfires. And yet, so many people, desperate for connection, keep chasing the burn. Here's where filtering comes in. Instead of asking, how much attention are they giving me this week? Ask, is their effort consistent? Do they show up when they say they will? Do their words match their actions over time? Does their interest flow steadily instead of spiking and disappearing? It's not glamorous. In fact, consistency can feel almost boring compared to love bomb energy. But that's exactly why it works. Consistency builds trust, and trust is the soil where attraction grows roots. Without it, you're left with fireworks, bright, explosive, and gone before you know it. Now, if consistency is the true marker of someone's character, What else should you be filtering for? Something even more important than reliability. Jillian argues it's values, because consistency without alignment still leaves you lost. Consistency shows you someone can show up, but values reveal whether they should even have a seat at your table. The problem is, most people know their values but forget to enforce them. They start bending. You hear things like, "Sure, he doesn't want kids, but maybe he'll change." Or, "She ghosts me for 3 days, but she's probably just busy." That's not dating, that's bargaining with yourself. Here's the truth. Values aren't slogans people put in their bios. They leak out in how someone lives. A person who truly values respect won't just say, "I respect women." You'll see it in how they treat the Uber driver when they're late. Someone who values growth won't brag about reading self-help books. They'll own their mistakes in real time. And family values, it's not the Instagram post on Mother's Day. It's how they talk to their sister when no one's watching. When you filter by values, you stop wasting time on people who pull you off course. And if you keep ignoring your own non-negotiables, it's usually because you're not filtering at all. You're replaying an old pattern that feels familiar even when it hurts. If you've ever thought, "Why do I always end up with the same type of person?" Welcome to attachment patterns. They're like the algorithms of your love life. Invisible but always running in the background. If you're anxious, chaos feels like attraction. You tell yourself the roller coaster is passion. They don't text back for hours, and your brain lights up like it's chasing a prize. You think, if I can just win them, I'll finally feel safe. Spoiler, you never do. If you're avoidant, it's the opposite. You pick partners who want more closeness than you can handle. That way you get to retreat and say, "See? Relationships smother me, and if you're somewhere in the middle, you bounce back and forth, cling one day, disappear the next." None of this is random. It's your nervous system pulling you back to the story it already knows. Steady love feels dull compared to the rush of drama. Respectful communication feels flat next to the thrill of being kept guessing. But once you ask yourself, am I actually into them or just hooked on the chaos? Everything shifts. Suddenly, boring people feel safe, grounding, and magnetic in a way that lasts. We spend so much time warning each other about red flags that we forget to talk about their opposite. But if you only filter by what you don't want, you'll miss the quiet signs of what you do. Jillian Turecki says the real test of a partner isn't in the drama, it's in the steady, ordinary moments. Green flags are usually more subtle. It's the person who notices you're uncomfortable and shifts to make you feel at ease. The one who follows through on the smallest promise, like calling when they said they would. It's how they treat strangers when there's nothing to gain. None of these things feel like fireworks, but they tell you more about someone's character than 100 perfect lines ever could. And here's why it matters. Chemistry can blur your judgment. That first rush of attraction is designed to trick your brain into overlooking things. Green flags cut through the fog. They're the evidence that someone's safe, reliable, and emotionally present. The kind of person you can actually build something with. So after your next date, don't ask, "Did we have that spark?" Ask, "Did I feel understood? Did they respect my time? Did I feel calmer or more anxious after being with them?" Those answers will tell you far more than butterflies ever will. And just like that, once you start recognizing these signs, you'll see how rare they are. And when you do, you'll also realize why boundaries matter so much. Because without them, even green flags can get lost in the noise. It's one thing to know your standards, it's another to defend them in the small, awkward moments. Jillian Turecki reminds us that boundaries are about showing people what it takes to stay close to you. And the best part, you don't need big speeches. A single sentence can save you months of confusion. Let's picture this. You've been talking to someone for weeks. They text at midnight asking if you want to hang out. Old, you might have laughed and gone along, but with boundaries, you reply, "I'd love to see you, but I don't do last-minute late nights." Let's plan something properly. If they vanish, you just saved yourself months of blurred lines. Or you're on a date and they make a joking comment that stings. Instead of brushing it off, you say, "I don't find jokes about that funny." The right person will pause, apologize, and adjust. The wrong one will roll their eyes or double down. And now you've got your answer. Even little things count. If they cancel dinner an hour before, you can respond, "I understand things come up, but my time matters. Let's reschedule when you're sure." If they respect that, it's a green flag. If they call you too sensitive, that's the filter doing its job. Boundaries aren't about creating drama. They're about creating clarity. They reveal character faster than charm ever could. The wrong ones won't like them. The right ones will lean in closer because respect feels natural to them. Once you see how people react to your boundaries, you stop wasting time on explanations or endless second chances. Which brings us to the next filter. The stress tests that show who someone really is when life stops being smooth. You can learn more about someone in a single moment of pressure than in 10 smooth dates. These stress test moments are ordinary, but they reveal everything. It's the dinner check arriving. Do they treat the server with respect or like they're invisible? It's when plans fall through at the last minute. Do they scramble and blame or calmly take responsibility and find another way? It's when you say no to something they want. Do they push or respect your boundary without turning it into a fight? They're the everyday cracks where someone's real character slips through. The wrong ones fail quietly, in ways that make your chest tighten. The right ones show steadiness just as quietly, in ways that let you exhale. Here's the funny thing about dating. Everyone thinks the hardest part is finding someone. Reality is, the hardest part is letting go of the ones who were never good for you. Once you do that, everything else gets easier. So here's my challenge to you. In the comments, write down the one filter you're going to start using this week. Maybe it's noticing how someone talks to strangers. Maybe it's walking away from anyone who disappears for days. Whatever it is, claim it. Because the moment you do, you stop being at the mercy of chance and you start shaping your own love life. And if this video made you rethink a little bit, give this video a like and subscribe. Because we're going to keep digging into the parts of love that no one talks about. And trust me, the next story might hit closer to home than you think. See you in the next video.